Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the February 2nd, 2021 Conservation Board meeting. We're joined by our members Roseanne Cohen, Paul Sugnett, Bert Gorton, Daniel Moore, Pat Schickler, and Noel Schlageter. And I'm Jim Almstead. And we're also joined by, from the town, we have Doug Sangster, our town planner, and assisting him is Brad Kamath. And let's see, we have Brian, I guess, helping us out with the TV. So it says here, our first order of business is approving the minutes from our last meeting of January 5th. So I hope everyone's had a chance to look at that. And does anyone have any corrections? I think I have one or two minor ones. Shall we start with what I caught? Let's see. I just lost my page. Yeah, here we go. So the only thing I caught that I thought we could change, minor thing, the very top of page 2, the very top of page 2, okay. So from page 1, it says a single larger lot, and that probably ought to be a semicolon and then say that way. That way there would be 2 generous lots. And then at the end of that sentence should be the contours of 101 and 102. So stick a T in front of hat. Yeah, okay. And like I said, those are pretty minor corrections. That was about all I found. Anyone else find anything?
Nope, not me.
So do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved. Everybody's got to go off mute.
Seconded.
I
Approve.
I hear no objections. So thank you. Nice job on the minutes, and we'll move on here. By the way, for those of you who are manning the fort back at the town, good luck on the drive home tonight. It's pretty nasty. So those of us who are able to join you from the warmth of our own homes, we have it pretty good tonight. And those thousands of you who have tuned in to watch us tonight, you're fortunate to be doing so from the warmth of your homes as well. Don't think they predicted all this for today. So we're down to communications, and Doug, do we have any communications? Doug,
I have not received anything from the county at this time. I know they're working on seeing if they can do spring trainings remotely. That has been something that they've been looking to do in the COVID time. I'll forward that on to you if I receive any information regarding those.
Okay. I disappeared from view for just a minute there because I know we changed our agenda just a little bit since the time I first printed it out. So, okay, let's move on to board discussion of Penfield Center Road. We've got a preliminary final subdivision and site plan application for a 3-lot subdivision with site plan approval for 2 new homes. Do you have that for us, Doug? 1410 Penfield Center Road.
Yep, I'll bring it up here in just a second. All right. Can you all see my screen?
I see it. I wish it were bigger, but I see it.
So I'll do my best to zoom in and out to
Okay.
give you the best view.
Yeah.
It is an existing approximately 20-acre lot on Penfield Center Road. There is an existing house on the lot. From my understanding, it is the granddaughters of the owner or grandchildren of the owner that are looking to build on their grandfather's lot. So they're looking to subdivide off 2 lots here. I hope this gives it a little bit better view. Subdividing off 2 lots, they'll conform with zoning. It is the RA2 zoning district, 2-acre minimum. They are showing 2 2-acre or larger than 2-acre lots. With 2 new homes. The remaining acreage will remain with the existing house at 1410. So the existing house will retain something like 15.5 acres of the 20-acre property, which I believe they still lease out to a farmer.
North is to the left here.
North is to the left, yes. Or to the right, sorry, is to the right.
North is to the right. Okay.
Yeah, to the back of lot 3. This is, so Penfield Center Road, this is on the north side of Penfield Center Road. Penfield Center
Okay.
runs east-west. So
Yep.
this is the north side.
What streets is this between?
I believe it is between Route 250 and I think that's Harris, Route 250 and Harris.
Hey, could I interrupt a minute? Jeff wants to get into the meeting. Could somebody let him in? Tachi?
Brian, can you let, thanks.
Come on, it, guys. 1 second. Okay, he's coming on in.
All right, Jeff, do we have you?
Yeah, is anybody, okay, yep.
There we go.
Okay, so we're welcoming Jeff Bartocci to our meeting. So has the PRC seen any issues here, Doug?
No, the PRC will be reviewing it at their meeting tomorrow morning. Our project review, we just got it on Friday. That was the submission deadline for the March 11th Planning Board public hearing. So they have not taken a look at it yet. So far, I think staff's only concern will likely come with lot 3. There are fire code restrictions with how far proper a house can be from a hydrant. In this case, I believe there's a hydrant across the street. If it's greater than a certain distance, they may be required to put the house on sprinkler. Otherwise, at this point, staff has just done a preliminary review and it so far does not have any significant concerns.
Any significant topography here?
No, it's I'll bring it up here. It's relatively flat. I mean, it does drop and slope sort of towards the rear of the property as it heads north. But they're just doing some very minor grading sort of to support the house pad.
And these lands drain to what?
I believe they drain out towards adjacent farm properties. I believe Dave Woodward owns farms to the north, south, and west of this property. And I think they ultimately, like their watershed is, I think they drain into the commission ditch.
Okay, when do you need a report?
Like I said, they'll be going before public hearing on March 11th. So second week of next month. if you'd like to have it ready for the March hearing, or before the March hearing, that would be helpful. So by, I think our next one is March, also March 2nd.
March 2nd, yes, right. Bert, would you like to partner with me on this one?
Yep, that'll be fine, Jim. I was just about ready to speak up that I'd be happy to do this one with somebody, so.
Okay. So Doug, you'll get those papers out to us?
Yep, I'll get those papers out to you guys so you have them in time to review.
Okay, thank you.
So I think we could move on to 1357 Jackson Road, the Birch Crescent Subdivision.
I'll pull that up here just a second. Sorry, Adobe Reader has crashed on me.
I had some issues with my computer earlier today, and I keep a sledgehammer close by, and I have this cartoon that says hit any key to continue, and I use the sledgehammer, and it usually gets the attention of my computer.
Let's see.
Now, when I tried to open the folders with the documents in it, they saying on these first two that the folders were empty. So I couldn't look at anything beforehand.
I'll see if there's something I can do to rectify that. I did upload everything, I believe, Friday the 29th, so it should be in there. I double checked it shortly before the meeting, but I can see if there was some permission issue either with the link I sent out or.
I was able to see. It's interesting. I was able to see the stuff on 1700 Beard Road. I didn't have problems with that.
Okay, I'll see if there's a permission error in Google Drive that blocked that.
It opened up, but it said the folders were empty. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can figure that out for you guys.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's only me.
I guess I found all the documents I wanted to look at, but I did notice that there were some empty folders. I thought perhaps you had just planned ahead for things to.
Some of those things will be
Thanks.
arriving at later times. So like staff and agency, that's where we usually put, the project review committee memo and, anything we get from the county. Because, for this project, for instance, because it's on Jackson Road is a county road, we will have to send it to the county for their review. So we will receive comments back from them. So some of the folders are empty at this time, but they may be populated as the project is reviewed. Hopefully the application documents folder and the submitted plans folder showed the plans. I'm pretty sure I had them in there.
Yeah, I just didn't see anything. So maybe,
Okay.
Something was, maybe I was using my Adobe. So maybe I shouldn't have used that. I don't know.
Okay, I'll see if there's something I can do to modify that to make sure it shows up for everyone. But if you can see the screen, so this was a subdivision that was originally approved, I believe, back in 2006 for a 6-lot subdivision on the northwest corner of Jackson Road and Plank Road. Ultimately, only the owner's lot was ever subdivided out down here, and the major acreage for the 6-lot subdivision was never subdivided out. They are now coming back for a 4-lot subdivision, utilizing Town Law 278 as a cluster development. Let's see, I'll bring up their cluster plan. They're only showing one substandard lot. That's lot 1, which will be about 6/10 of an acre. And in keeping with a lot of the existing lots on Jackson Road. Lot 1 is the size it was originally approved in the cluster plan from 2006. The lots in the back, however, lot 2, 3, and 4 are the remaining acreage that was originally proposed to be 5 lots, but is now shown as 3 additional lots. This is coming before the planning board as a sketch plan. So they will not receive an approval from this application. They will only receive a letter from the planning board outlining the board's concerns, the public's concerns, and staff's concerns.
So are you saying we can wait until the April meeting at least?
Yeah, if you'd like, you can wait either until the April meeting, or if you'd like to start a review now, but possibly not render a report until we have the preliminary final. At this time, they're really only showing the proposed sort of pad sites and septic sites based on where they're doing septic testing, or they're doing the deep hole testing. Grading, stormwater, and all that sort of information will be provided as part of the preliminary final application in the future.
So how do people feel about this? Does anyone want to take a, excuse my voice here, anybody want to take a preliminary look at this?
Say, wait.
Why don't we go ahead and wait for our
Okay.
April meeting? So in other words, we'll discuss this in March and with anticipation of a report for the April meeting.
Okay, so this one will also be before the planning board in March. So in all likelihood, if the planning board does send out a sketch letter after the March public hearing, I would expect it to come back for the May public hearing for the planning board, in all likelihood.
Okay, well, certainly by deferring our discussion until March with the idea that we could put together a report for April, that sounds like we'd be fine there.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So that, let's see, that brings us to the scores of subdivision, and I think Pat and Roseanne, you took a look at that.
We did. Fortunately got in there one of the few days, snow before, snow after. Roseanne, it was a lovely day that we were able to go see it.
Was
So Roseanne took some pictures, which those were in the folder. And, so 2 things. One, we realized that we did not, because we've seen the comments from PRC. And there's that drop off about 10 feet. I'm pointing, thinking that you can see my finger, haha. So that's the drop off. We did not walk down there. So
Let's see, Pat, if I remember correctly, that looks like the drop off that would apply to lot 1.
yes,
yes.
because it's lot 1. See that tree line back there? That's with the home next door. And so that tree line will remain. And so that's where lot 1 would be. Was that south? It might have been south.
Yes, so this is
Southern border, right?
facing south. So this
Yeah.
is sort of taken in a southeasterly direction.
Okay.
Because Baird
And-
Road is sort of to the right here on the high side.
Yes, yes. And this picture doesn't quite show it. You might see it in one of the others. They've got a row, there it is. See that row of rocks to the back? Notes, actually the owner of the property came out from the humongous house that's around the corner that he's subdividing for his children. And he stopped to talk to us, and I had asked what were those rocks, and he said it's at a 200-foot mark. I don't know if that was 200 foot from what exactly, but it's supposed to mark where the back of these new lots would be.
Yeah, he
So-
said he just, whenever he found one of those large rocks, he put them in a row back there.
So he said that's where he anticipates the back of each of
Yeah.
those lots would be. I noticed from the PRC comments, we neglected to put something in about the tree guidelines. To say that there should be, 2 trees, at least on this lot that we're starting to build on. So we probably want to add a statement in our report on that.
Okay, I can add that as
Put that
a
in.
statement.
Now, I do have to point something out that's interesting. They said tree policy. Now, I thought we had been bending over backwards to say they're tree guidelines, but now we have PRC reviewing or referring to it as the tree
So
policy.
So there's a policy and there's a guideline. The street tree policy is that every lot developed in a subdivision is required to have 2 trees per lot.
Okay,
Most times the
Okay.
developer usually puts one in the front, one in the back. The tree preservation guidelines are a set of guidelines, but not official
Okay.
policy regarding, if this was a heavily wooded lot or if they were looking to go into that woodlands back there
okay,
regarding
All
when and how to save significant trees.
okay. So there's no trees, there's no significant trees, there's no trees, period. It's just brush. The home on lot 1 that's anticipated to be built, it's gonna brush up to the back of the incline. I don't believe it's going to get into they are gonna build a retaining wall that maybe is something for a deck that they're planning. Sam, did you want to say anything about that?
No,
Okay,
you could see that the house next door to the south had like a walkout basement, probably because it had the same
topography.
drop off, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We noticed it. Right. And we did discuss the idea of putting a dedicated road because the drives are going to be off of Baird Road. 4 of them will be off of Baird Road and 1 will be off of the Baird Road extension. However, having a separate dedicated road that's parallel to Baird Road, we felt that would really encroach on their front yards and make them almost want to have, pushing back into that slope more. And there's very little traffic there, and it's really in keeping with other properties in the area that had a driveway right onto Baird. So we did not make any recommendation or comment about that. One thing, and I noticed now from the minutes that, and didn't recall when we were looking at this, Jim, your comments about maybe lot 1 and 2 should be made, eliminate 1 lot to make something bigger and not have it go back into the contours as much. But that wasn't on our minds I did not recall that. At the time, we did not end up discussing that or put anything in about that. It did seem like there was enough space for that house, even given the drop off. You can see now the house, and I'm pointing, which isn't going to work. Doug, you can say, yeah, there's the drop off, but the house just comes up to where it's going to start. I know it's going to be disturbed in order for them to build.
And staff did make a comment regarding the grading on the sort of lot 2, as well as the proximity of sort of the corner of the house here.
Yeah, they were
into
going to have to do something with setbacks, right?
Yes. The way we measure setbacks, it was a little too close.
So has this been discussed with the applicant at this point?
We have sent it to their engineering firm as well as to the applicant. It is on them to get us revised plans, whether they get them before the public hearing or or after. In many cases, we do find that they'll wait until the public hearing to see the board's comments before issuing revised plans. But we're hopeful that they'll submit something before the board hearing.
So they want them to move the house more south so that they're not near that line, or?
So two of the comments that we had were, at least from staff within our PRC memo, is that we weren't comfortable with the fact that they were going to have to do, especially if they were selling off each of the lots, is that they were going to have to do grading for lot 1 on lot 2. That's not advisable, and we feel the planning board would probably be pretty hesitant to approve a plan that shows grading like this. So we recommended that they do something to remedy that. At the same time, lot 103 has the creek running through it, and there is a buffer of disturbance around it that they're not allowed to do, and that it restricted the amount of usable lot area for the lot. While it still complies with zoning, it does eat into the lot. So a comment staff made was whether they should consider sort of removing lot 102, widening out lot 101 so that all of the necessary grading for the very large house on lot 1 can be accommodated within that lot, while also giving lot 103 a larger and more usable lot, given the restrictions that would be around the stream.
You know, it was hard. I don't know with the maps that we had to even pick up that stream. I noticed that there was
They don't really label it particularly well, and they
Yeah,
show it mostly
because-
as a wetland area.
okay.
So they don't really label it. They just have a line in here with arrows to indicate the stream.
Yeah, and
It is labeled more appropriately here where it meets the Hip Brook, because this is more of a
right,
drainage
that's what
channel.
I had mentioned Hipbrook in the report, and actually probably made a statement that maybe wasn't correct about, darn, I didn't print off my report. Could you go up to the report part?
Yes.
I think, okay, let me find it. Okay, I said the parcel is adjacent to Hipbrook, however, the project will not impact this water body. Now, okay, that's true, but now after he's pointing out and seeing this, because there was no water, I didn't notice water. Did you, Roseanne, at the
No.
time? So we didn't see, actually,
Well, we didn't cross over it though. We went around,
we went around. Yeah, we didn't feel like we could get by that, so.
I'm not
Um,
sure it contains water year round. I know it acts in many cases as sort of an overflow area. So the Hip Brook flows south here and into the Hip Brook Reserve. And this drainage way goes down to Baird Road underneath,
Okay.
and then crosses Baird Road and ultimately goes by the pond there at the corner of the intersection of Baird Extension, Baird and Atlantic, and up into across Atlantic and into the 1,000 Acre Swamp. But I'm not sure this contains water year round.
okay,
It may
should
be
we be
seasonal.
saying, should we be saying, and also, you know, there was no, there's no GIS map that existed with this, this paperwork. I mean, usually it's easier to see details like this. I mean, there wasn't one with our paperwork.
I can see if I can get you one that sort of shows.
Well, no, I'm just
those.
saying that it was harder to see without that, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if we should be putting in a statement about the slot does, you know, get close to this wetland there.
Okay. Yeah, I can. If you guys.
You could add maybe add a however to the, you know, it does not encroach on the Hip Brook, but however, lot 103 is whatever you want to call that
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, it's, I believe they just consider it an unclassified waterway. Yeah, it's just considered an unclassified,
Okay, I was gonna say, if you
drainage
want
channel.
to do that, that we could,
because that is the Hip Brook, or sometimes called the Thousand Acre Brook,
okay.
that flows north-south.
How do you, what say you, Roseanne, on that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Deb?
so I can
We didn't
add
do
something
that
into there about that.
Sorry, somebody say something else?
No, I just said we didn't go anywhere near that, where that actual brook is, though. We didn't.
No,
go
we
way
did
back.
not. Actually, that must have been that big depression where I think I said something like, I'm not going down there.
Yeah.
Will have to pull me back out. Jeff's not here to go first.
Okay, a couple of comments. Under your concerns, comments, recommendations, I think maybe we could change home to be built will back up to, it's actually, it looks to me like the home will be built where that heavy downward slope is. So that's,
Well, I think it's gonna be like right adjacent to it. I don't know that, like I said, I know they'll be getting into it, but,
Oh.
So you can, I tried to bring it up here, and I know that the plan is rather busy here.
yes,
But you can see sort of the lines, horizontal dashed lines here. This is sort of that drop off area. So theoretically, residence 2 will be before that drop off. However, the large residence there at the very end
it will
will
get into
likely,
it.
yeah,
Okay.
they'll
right.
they'll be building, essentially the house is going to go right where that drop off is.
Okay, well then it does need to be changed.
But the other 2 lots will largely be built above sort of where that ridge is,
Okay,
so they're looking
and
at
they'll drop off.
a finished grade for the house at 494.
Yes, yeah. So for the first house, it'll be at 494, and the grades around there, that drop off starts at about 491 and goes down to about 486. So it will be higher, about 10. They will be
Okay.
building sort of over that ridge,
okay.
whereas the other residences are sort of right along that ridge.
What was your recommendation, Jim?
Let's go back to the report again. So obviously the home to be built will require a significant regrading of this downward slope.
Yes.
And the other thing I would like us to add to your report, if you don't mind, is to embrace the thought from the PRC, and actually the thought from me
Yes,
last time, that I think lots 1, 2, and 3 ought to become 2 lots instead of 3.
yes. That's fine. And I think we could say, with this in mind, we consider it advisable to consider what you just said, combining lots 1, 2, and 3 to become 2 lots.
Well, it's because of its proximity to that creek too, right?
Right.
All right, so I if you can see it on the screen, I know it'll be
Yep.
I do
Oh,
see
rather
it,
small.
and
I
it
added,
needs
yep.
to go with the first bullet, I think.
Yep, yeah, I'll get that
Okay.
moved around. Unfortunately,
Okay.
I'm working from home right now, so I don't have.
Oh, you're home, so
yes.
you're not.
Oh, sorry. Yes, no. This is
So
not.
here we're commiserating that you're at the town board and gonna have a bad drive home.
No, I already did the bad drive home.
So you didn't say
No,
a word.
no, because we were not going to have use of any of the facilities in the auditorium
That's okay. I'm
So-
just,
where we
picking on you.
decided to Zoom from home.
I'm just picking on you. It's a very good.
So
idea.
is there anything saying they couldn't make the size of 101 a little bit smaller?
House?
Yeah,
It's a big home.
It's a large home.
I mean, if they want 3, they're gonna have to make it smaller. I mean, I just thinking
And
that's,
How many kids did they say he had? I forgot what he said, because he had 3 or 4 kids.
I believe lot 101 was going to be for one of his children. I believe
Yes.
lot 105 was going to be for one of his children.
I think they're all
I don't
for
know
his
which
kids.
ones.
One
Is
is for
that-
him when he wants to downsize.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what he told us.
that's right. Oh, that's right. I think it's for all of the family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember whether it was 3 or 4 kids though.
That's what I'm trying to remember. I'm almost thinking that this is one of the younger kids that's going to get this house.
He has 3. I ran into Dan. He has 3 children. Yes.
Okay.
And you're right. It's all the lots strictly are for his family.
Well, I just feel that, that lot 3 is a bit constrained because of drainage, and
Mhm.
lot 1 should be enlarged if they need to do all that topography modification. So I think it'd be a better development if it were 4 lots in total instead of 5.
That seems
And
reasonable.
that was a comment that staff made within the PRC memo
They did,
that was
and-
sent to the engineer and to the applicant.
Yeah.
So, no, I have no problem with it. As I said, I think we both took notes back at the meeting, but there was a few weeks between that and when we went out to look at it, and it totally escaped me anyways.
Anyone have any other comments? And we'll thank Pat and Roseanne for their report and adopt it as modified.
I do have to give kudos to Roseanne coming with a big stick and going first, so if, I didn't have to worry about falling in a hole.
I'm prepared.
Yeah. Okay. I know we want to talk about what I keep referring to as the RIT Lake. And I don't think that you folks that volunteered for that project have had a chance to go on site yet. Am I correct?
No,
No, I'm still working to get an appointment scheduled so staff and board members can go down and visit it.
Is it going to be accessible with all the snow and the road?
I know they were hoping we could do it before the snow fell. We may just have to wait until at least right now until they can get the snow cleared out and things like that.
everybody can just jump in the back of my truck.
How about snowshoes?
I got those too.
Okay, so that's still on hold as far as our report goes. And review of other ongoing projects. Anybody got a favorite they'd like to review?
So if you guys would like, we did receive another application that did not make it on the agenda in time. If you would like to take a look at that one, I can bring that one up for
Might
you
as
guys as
well.
well.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me pull it up here. It's going to be a bunch, so I'm just going to share my screen. Okie dokie. Let's put you guys back up here. So we did receive another application within the mixed use district. The controls up. We did receive another application within the mixed use district. It is coming in at this time as a sketch plan. This is proposed to go, and I'll bring it up on GIS here, is proposed to be across the street from the YMCA. There's an existing farmhouse and barn there now, but the main entrance drive will come in at the traffic signal there for the YMCA, or at the YMCA. Give me a second to get it over there. So it is This is the YMCA. I know this is sort of an older image. This is where Penfield Square is, the first mixed-use development that was approved in the town. This is the YMCA. They're proposed to go right along here at 1820 and a portion of 1810, Fairport 9 Mile Point Road. They are proposing a mixed-use development consisting of a retail out parcel building, a first floor retail on this building D, sort of a street of shops, along with apartment units in buildings D, C, and E, and then townhouse units right along 250 in building A and B. So this will be coming before the planning board as a sketch plan application in March.
Is this another senior development?
No, this would not be senior oriented. It would be market oriented. Or just open market oriented. So it'll be, I mean, there will be some, likelihood the townhouses will likely be families. They'll be larger. They'll include a garage or more garage space per unit. And we'll have a little bit more of a sort of a family feel, whereas the apartments will be more likely, I think, young adults and professionals.
And this is across from the Y?
This is proposed to go in across from the Y. Yep.
And that little, isn't it like a repair shop there? Is that going to be knocked down?
That repair shop is south of here by a couple of lots. So as you're driving down,
So you said it's 1820, oops, and
I'll
1810?
bring it up here.
It's right there a second ago.
Yep. No, I'm going to go to it in Google Maps so I can bring it
Okay.
up. So it will back up to Wickham Farms in the back. Sorry, that's slow. So this is Penfield Square. This is pretty early on in the development. That's the YMCA and the light at the YMCA. So their road will come out here at the traffic signal. And will be where there's a house here existing, as well as a barn and some other structures existing. These structures will all go. Originally, they had planned to try to save the barn to do use as a retail parcel, but I don't, or retail building, but I don't believe it was in shape to do that.
Are there trees there besides these trees around the home in the barn?
No,
No, it's mostly flat and open,
An open lot.
sort of lot behind it. So it does drop off from Route 250 fairly significantly. It's hard to see in the image, but it's sort of flat around here, and then it does drop off, and then it's hard to see in the distance. There's Oak and Apple up on the hill, but this is there's Wickham Farms is back here, but it's sort of hidden from view a little bit because of the grade change.
What is the drop off?
I believe it's something like 10 or 15 feet.
Is there a stream back there?
So there is, and I'll pull it up here. So the existing property line is here. They're looking to purchase a little bit of the neighboring property at the very edge between Wickham Farms and where they're proposing to develop. There is a wetland. They will sort of be buffering the wetland, but will not be encroaching on it.
So they'll have to do a lot of grading on this one as well.
To some degree, they are going to try to sort of run with the grade, as it were. So the road will go down here. There will be some limited retaining
Like a
walls sort of
hill and-
along the front of the townhouses, but they're sort of working it into the they're proposing to work it into the grading so that you know, from the front the townhouses will look like a two-story townhouse, but in the back, because it slopes down, you know, the garages will be on the third level or the lowest level and sort of hidden into, you know, you won't be able to see them. So it'll look like a two-story townhouse from the front, but it'll really have 3 levels on the backside. And the, you know, the main drive here will be mostly hidden because this will sort of go down and run with the slope. I mean, they will have to flatten out the road. But this will run with the slope, and the buildings will sort of be built into the slope. So they'll look sort of like they did with, to some degree, with Penfield Square, where the front side looks like it's a story lower than it really is because it's sort of built into the hillside or to the slope.
When would you be looking for a report from us?
This one, I think, is at least starting off. This will go through at least one sketch plan. So I don't think they'll be coming back for preliminary final until early summer at the earliest. So if you wanted to do a preliminary review in time for either March or April, we could get that report off to them prior to their submitting either for preliminary final or we've done second sketches before.
Well, this is a pretty significant project. Might be a good idea to not wait on this one and at least do a preliminary report for our March meeting. Anybody interested in taking this on? I know the weather is not real conducive. Why don't we
I'd be
call
up
it,
to join virtually, Jim.
say again,
I would be up to joining virtually.
okay? That'd be
Someone-
good. So knowing that this would be a very preliminary,
Do we have any idea when we're gonna be doing the, how far down the road are we looking at for the RIT one?
So they had their sketch plan last month. We sent the sketch letter out. I believe I uploaded that, or I sent it to you guys via email, as well as it's on the Google Drive that outlines staff's concern. At this point, they haven't resubmitted for preliminary final. So the earliest they'll be back before the planning board is April, if they were to submit by the end of February.
All right, I'll do that one with somebody.
I can help on it. I'm almost thinking maybe, I'm mute now. Maybe we should have 2 or 3 people. I mean, maybe 3 on that one. What do you think, Jim?
yeah, that's fine.
So I can work with Jeff.
Well,
Anybody
and
else?
Paul
And we'll
has,
carry, we'll bring Paul with us on a cell phone.
yeah, you could give him an extra pair of snowshoes and he'll be right there with you. All right, let's do it that way. Jeff and Pat with Paul virtual. Okay,
So,
thanks,
when
everybody.
are we, okay, the thing is, like, you know, just as far as snow goes, so you're saying by, you want this report by March?
Well, I would say we want a very preliminary report by March. So if that means doing a drive-by in light of the weather and sitting down and looking at the plans such as they are right now,
Okay.
very preliminary report by March and more to follow.
Okay,
Again, Pat, I'm very familiar with that area. I mean, there is just nothing. The field just to the north of that house, some of that open area has been pumpkin patch for decades.
oh, okay.
So there is really, I mean, it's the house and the barn.
Oh, okay, what about that bit,
And-
that steep slope
Well,
Since-
you know, again, that's something I think from the side of the road, you can kind of sit and take a look and kind of go, yeah, they're gonna
Okay.
have to manage they're gonna have to manage that slope, but you know, conceptually to me, I know that corner and from
Okay.
a sketch concept, you know, with everything else that's going on around that, you know, across the street and stuff, I think that's pretty appropriate.
You know, it does seem
Yeah.
a nice area and, you know, with shops in there. We were
Yeah.
talking recently about housing in the area and I said, well, we know there's a lot of land, open land in Penfield further out, but the question is, you know, the amenities are not close. So having the idea with some kind of a shops in there is, what did you say that was going to be, Doug? Some kind of shop or retail?
It's going to
or-
be, it's going to be retail. So they're showing a dedicated retail building, as well as sort of a vertical mixed use where they have, you know, in the one building in the center. It'll be along the main road. It'll be first floor will be shops or some form of retail. The second floor might be office space or apartments. And then the third floor would be apartments. It's, you know, at this point, it's a sketch plan, so those are fairly flexible. We've met with the applicant's engineer several times already, and it'll likely evolve as the project goes along.
There any wetland areas in there?
Yeah, so
aware
on
of?
the neighboring property, so you can actually, and I'll share my screen again here. You know, you can sort of see, so there 1820 is here. They're looking to pick up a portion of land here along the back. You can sort of see this darker area is wetland
Okay.
within there. So you know, there's a
Okay.
wetland that follows a
You-
creek around here. So
can
they're
you
essentially going to border it, but they're not going to go into it.
Can you give us a GIS map with the papers?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay, I find it a little bit easier to follow that.
Yep, no problem. I can
Thank
do
you.
that.
Using your Google Drive, you'll be able to give Paul something that he can enlarge on his screen.
Yes, yep.
Okay.
All of the full set of plans up on the Google Drive, so you can pull it up on it as a PDF for viewing.
Well, can
Okay,
you get,
sounds-
oh,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I
Go
was just
ahead,
gonna ask
Pat.
if you could get those out. Roseanne and I are retired, but Jeff's still working, so we have to work around his schedule there, right? And Paul, you're gonna be a walk along, so doesn't matter where you are, right?
So I'll try to get you the plans here by the end of the week, or at least get them in the mail by the end of the week to get them out to you guys.
Okay,
I've gone online while we were talking, Paul, and there are virtual snowshoes for sale. Okay, any other projects that people would like to talk about, ongoing projects? So I guess not.
Yeah, I don't have anything newer of note for you guys at this point. You know, we are in the winter. Many of our construction sites or many of our projects tend to shut down in the winter. When the ground's frozen, it's harder to do things. So most of them have entered what we call winter stabilization, and they'll get back into it in spring.
Roseanne, do you have anything from the EMC? You're muted.
Yeah, no, last month was the Eco Park. And they just went over all their statistics and what they're doing and some new equipment they're getting and stuff. It was interesting. It's always interesting there. It's a busy place.
Yeah, it is. I brought up the issue of shredding documents last time, and I've never gone to the Eco Park for shredding of documents. Did they talk about that?
I don't remember. I don't think so. Although they do, he was telling us about all the books they have there that they get.
I
Yeah,
don't
so.
think that they guarantee security on their
Yeah.
credit.
I think they do, but I don't remember how much or how they do it. But they're only open like 2 days a week for customers. But they don't want to open anymore.
Debbie, anything you'd like to report from the town board? I saw a little something in the paper the other day you might want to talk about.
About, about our wonderful
Yeah,
supervisor.
yeah, right.
Or maybe not everyone knows that our wonderful supervisor, Tony LaFountain, has announced that this is his last year, that that he won't be running again, running in 2021 for the position of supervisor. So we wish he's still got the rest of the year with us. So we're really we're sad to see that he's decided not to continue on as supervisor, but we're happy that he's planning his next moves, and he's done some great things in the town. So I'm sure you'll hear some things about it. It's been the TV, a couple of TV stations have picked it up a little bit, and I'm sure you'll see some more as we come as we go here. But yep, we were sad to see that Supervisor LaFountain is going to retire from public service in the town of Penfield. Next.
Well, just in case he's watching tonight, those of us who golf tried to get him out on the golf course once before. We'll take no excuses after he's retired.
I bet he'll be very eager to be getting out there golfing with you all, and I'm sure he will.
Anybody have anything else they'd like to bring up? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I hear no objections, so we'll call it a night. And I guess the only person that probably had to be away from home maybe is Brian of Penfield TV. And thanks for being here with us tonight, Brian. We'll sign off.
Thanks.
All right, have a good night, everyone.
Hey,
Maybe-
See you in March.